everyone, welcome back to our Good Friends Garden here at Connections Early Years Family Center. My name is Jillian and I am glad to see everyone watching this video and being interested in week 2 of our Weather Wonders online virtual learning course. Again, a thank you goes out to TD, Friends of the Environment, for making this course possible. Thanks to their generosity, we're able to have things such as our Weather Wonder bags and these activities available to you and to all the families here at the center. Again, thank you to their support. For our second week, we are going to be exploring our topic, which is the water cycle. So the water cycle, it's a lot of fun, and it's basically something that you can just go to your children and ask 3 big questions that you're going to answer together. First one is, what is rain? Second one, where does rain come from? And our third question today would be, where does rain go? So these are just some fun, simple questions that you and your little ones can explore in order to learn about the water cycle and why the water cycle is so important to our daily lives. When you are out in whatever outdoor space you're lucky enough to be in, especially if you get lucky like we've been this week and you have some rainy days, it's a great time to ask your child the question of, what is rain? And they might have some fun, quirky answers. They might be, right, hitting the nail on the head, knowing exactly what rain is. But the easy answer to what is rain is water. And it's just the same kind of water that we see in so many different ways in our daily lives. We see it in puddles, we see it when we turn on our taps, we drink it every day. So again, it's just the same concept of water. But then you ask the question, where does the water that falls down from the sky, where does it come from? So if you're walking around with your little ones, take that time to look up at the sky, look at what's going on. Sometimes if it's really cool weather, you'll see different types of clouds. You might see some big storm clouds in the distance. You might see some sunlight in one direction and clouds in the other. Or you might see the rain coming down in one area and not another. So it's important for you and your little ones to take the time to look up when you're learning about the weather, because so much of it is happening over our heads. So where does rain come from? Well, a fun way to explain this one is rain basically comes from the ground. We see on a rainy day like today, the ground is wet, there's puddles, we always have those lakes, and the water on the ground slowly, as the air gets warm, rises up into the air to form clouds. And if you've seen some of our Wednesday videos, which Kirsten does some wonderful yoga for everyone, this is a great way to get full body movement when you're learning. Is you can be with your child and talk to them about how the water comes down from the ground and goes all the way up into the sky to make clouds. So if your child's a kinesthetic learner, it's a good chance for you to incorporate that. And when it gets all the way up into the sky, it starts to get a little bit heavy and it forms into clouds. And then you have to ask the question, so if the water comes from the clouds, how does it go from the clouds to the ground? When the water gets so heavy, almost like a sponge that's absorbed as much as it possibly can, that's when it starts to come back down to us on the earth in the form of rain. And if it's really cold in the winter, it might come down as snow. If it's kind of in the middle, it might come down as a mix of snow and rain. Or in some really crazy conditions, it might come down as hail, which are little pieces of ice. So again, you're just reminding your children, and this is the best way to teach them by getting them outside and getting them experiencing it firsthand, is that the water comes from the sky down to the ground, and when it gets nice and warm, it goes right back up. And again, you can watch all of this happening in your daily lives. So that's the answer to our big 3 questions about the water cycle. But now we're going to get a little bit more in depth. So for a fun little teaching tool that we have here, and it's easy for you to make at home, and there will be a link attached with a similar image for you to base your own on. When you're talking to your little ones about the water cycle, a fun little thing to add in is a water cycle wheel. So we just made this out of recycled materials. And it's just going to show the different stages of the water cycle. And again, that repetition always helps your child when they go to learn. So we have the sun up here, so the sun heats up down on the earth. So the water from our lakes is going to heat up. It goes up into the sky where it forms clouds, just like we talked about. And when the clouds get too heavy, it comes down as rain and rolls through the ground and runs through our drain system as well, back into the water where it begins again. And for your child, if it helps them to move while they learn, we have a little arrow here that they can trace it as well. For those of you whose children are a little older, maybe 5 or 6, if they want, you can always make fun little labels to stick onto this as well, and it makes them feel as though, you know, they can show you what they've learned, which is always a great feeling. And again, you can take it on and off. So it's a great way to always kind of just go over this again over time. So this is our fun little water wheel, and again, there will be a link attached below this video for you to make your own. But this is just one other way that you can review the water cycle. It's not something your kid has to know. By a certain age, they got to know where water comes from, where it goes, what is all of these big words that end after about 14 letters, it feels like. They don't have to know this. They just have to know that the water comes in a cycle. It goes from the ground into the sky, from the sky back down to the earth, and that it's all related, and that's why it's so important to be protecting this water cycle and make sure that we aren't doing anything to damage nature. So before we finish off our video for today, we have one more activity for you to try at home. For our take-home activity for this week, which is something that you and your little ones can do at home, which is an important part of this video series, is trying these ideas out at home with your children. We made a water cycle bottle. So here I have just an empty glass bottle that was just lying around. You can use plastic if you're worried about your little ones, you know, potentially breaking it, or whatever type of material you want. But the important part is that it is clear so you can see what's going on, and that it has a lid that does close. So all you're going to do for this activity is you're going to put a little bit of water in the bottom. I added a couple drops of food coloring just to make it a little easier to see. If you have blue food coloring, it goes well with the theme. We only had purple, so our water is purple today. And we're going to just put groundwater on the bottom here. And you don't have to label it. Again, depends on your child's age and interest. And over time, you're going to put this glass bottle in somewhere that is warm and sunny, because as a day or two goes by, you're going to notice that water will slowly in the bottle start to evaporate up to the top of the bottle. But because there is a lid here, you'll start to notice beads of water collecting on the sides. So for this, we have evaporation labeled here, so your children will be able to see where it has evaporated up in the bottle. At the top, we drew some clouds, which might be a little hard to see because the bottle's still kind of sticky. And you're going to see the water begin to bead at the top where the lid is. So just in this little jar, it's almost like your little ecosystem where you can see the water cycle as it takes place. And again, you can leave this in a warm, sunny spot like a windowsill, and your child can watch as it changes over a couple days, which is a great way for them to see something in a little miniature version that makes it very simple and easy to understand. So again, give this one a try at home, and we would love to hear how it goes. On that note, that is it for our second video of our Weather Wonders Outdoor Learning series. Again, a reminder that every week we're looking for people to reach out to us, email us, message us about trying some of these activities or other weather-related adventures at home with your children. And for those who reach out to us, we are going to be entering your names into a draw for 2 Weather Wonder bags, which includes always a weather book, as well as some other fun activities and lots of great resources for you and your little ones to do at home. It's completely free. We just want to hear how you guys are enjoying these activities. So thank you so much for watching. We hope you had fun and that you give this all a try. And thank you for connecting with us. We will see you next week.